for having me today. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be here. I love the concept of your group, and I work every day to have a positive attitude. So it was quite wonderful to meet Lisa. It's a very interesting story. I'll tell you that real quick before we get into the topic. I was at my D&I networking group, and Lexanne was there. Lexanne, I forget your last name.
Yeah.
Lexanne Annis, and she was there as a substitute for Tim Bullock. And I was speaking that day, almost all day. I was the speaker of the day. I had to do the education coordinator piece of it, and so she got to know me very well in a very short period of time. But anyway, she said I really needed to meet Lisa, and that was on a Thursday. And then Saturday, I went to an event, my ACN business, and I already had known Lisa's husband. And it was funny because he was asking me what's new and good, and my book was just published, and I was sharing it with him. And he said, oh, wait till I show you what my wife's doing. She's part of the Positive Thinkers Network. By this time, Lexanne already said, well, you've got to meet Lisa. You've got to come to the Positive Thinkers Network. And then on Saturday, Scott was telling me the same thing, and it was just so surreal that I believe Lisa and I were meant to meet. So that's how it started, and so thank you again for the opportunity to be here today. The subject today that I'd like to talk about is mastermind groups or personal advisory groups. How many of you are familiar with the concept? Okay, a couple of you. How many of you who are familiar with the concept currently are part of a mastermind group? Okay, 2. All right, great. So 3. So I don't know if you read what today's topic's about, or if you have an understanding of what masterminding is about, but those individuals who participate in a mastermind setting, mastermind group, are very successful in their lives. What tends to happen is being part of a mastermind group, you are collectively and strategically thinking for the other partners in your group. So it's bringing together like a small little business team to help you grow and build and do it at an accelerated rate. Mastermind groups have been around. The Greeks used them. In the early 20th century, Ben Franklin, Ford, Rockefeller, all the successful individuals in business at that time used mastermind groups. Well, I was very fortunate to be part of a group last year, all of 2010, which was with Jack Canfield. I don't know if all of you know him. He wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Very successful businessman, writer, motivational speaker, and I was honored to be part of a mentoring program with him all of last year. Part of that program is a mastermind group. So during that full year, and I've been part of mastermind groups prior to that, but with that program, it really, last year, really stepped things up for me. So everything that he does, he has a mastermind group. So, and he plays at a pretty high level. And so you can imagine the success that those individuals are experiencing by the association that they have with the group they've developed. So there's some right ways to build a mastermind group, and there's some wrong ways. So we're going to talk about that as well. But can anyone give an example of a benefit or an idea of benefit that would come out of being a mastermind group? Just with the little information you might know.
Accountability.
Very good.
The association of those in the mastermind group are phenomenal.
Yeah, great associations, accountability. Anything else? Lisa?
Safety.
Very good.
Safe environment.
Yep. Lexanne?
What I learned was how you learn from everybody else in your business. Maybe what they're doing that you can incorporate that would help you be successful.
Great. So you can sharpen your own skills, whether they're personal or business. Anything else? Ron?
Also, feedback, accountability.
Feedback, yep, accountability again. Excellent. Very good. So that's really the basis of why you want to have a mastermind group. And I will give you a handout at the end of this so you can take it back and read it in more detail. And what I'm going to share with you in the handout is actually the program that I did with Jack Canfield. He loves that we share it as long as we give due credit to where it came from. So this is the manual that we were given to put together our own mastermind groups. And speaking with Ron, he's also an expert in building and conducting mastermind groups. So if it's something that all of you would like to participate in, afterwards you can contact me, or you also have Ron to support you in that process. I highly recommend it. So let's go through real quick the steps in building a mastermind group. So first thing you want to think about is why you want to build a mastermind group, what it is that you hope to accomplish by building one. And it could be for personal reasons, it could be professional reasons, it could be financial reasons, it could be all of them combined, and usually it is. So they tend to start, though, with the people that you network with. So it starts from a business perspective. And what you want to get clear, though, is the outcome. So you want your group to be professional, you want it to be supportive, you want it to be people you can trust, you want people you can confide in. You also want people that may be a little bit above you, so that are already successful. So, and you also want to be very diverse, because you know, it's when you build a football team or any sports team, you have a lot of different positions, and you won't fill each position with the same type of talent. Same thing when you think about a mastermind group. You want to make sure that it's very diverse, and consider even individuals who may be not in the business world, but might be more in the social world, or might be a mom. They still can add a lot of value to a networking group, even if they're not a so-called professional. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about putting a mastermind group together. Masterminds help bring new thoughts, new people, new resources. So every person in your mastermind group has a network outside of you. So when you're thinking about putting someone on your team or want to invite them, I suggest you make a list of your top 5 and then have a backup 5. So that if someone, maybe this time in their life it's not right for them, or feel that it wouldn't be productive for them, you'll have a backup. But put your 5 people out there that you want the most to be on your team. Because when you're considering those individuals, make sure you're thinking about what they do, what their profession is, how they might add value. And you might only have 3 to begin with, but maybe somebody that you're really close to might have 2 or 3 other people that they'd like to invite. So it's also something you can start a discussion with individuals that will help you build the best team to support you. And again, remember, it's the networks and the resources that everyone else brings to the table that's going to help each other person at the table grow and expand. So the ideal size for the mastermind group is anywhere from 5 to 6 people. Too small, you have 1 or 2 people that miss for a meeting, then you're really not going to get the support and the help that you need. But you have one that's too big, then it's just going to be very uncontrollable. And also the time limit, because we typically set it for an hour to have a mastermind meeting. You'll go over that hour if you go over more than 6 people. So keep that in mind as well. 5 to 6 is ideal. So conducting a mastermind group, typically they would be held every week. But in my experience, we do it every other week because people are busy, they have their family lives, they have work, there's other things that they do outside of their mastermind. So what we found in my experience through the Canton group is that my group currently right now goes every Tuesday, the first Tuesday, and the third Tuesday of the month. So it's set in stone. We decided in the beginning of the group signing up that that's what we were going to commit to. And it goes from 10:30 Eastern Standard Time to 11:30. Because I have individuals from Canada, both sides, British Columbia and also the Ontario side. I also have 2 individuals from California and 3 individuals in the middle of the country. So it also allowed everyone to be able to participate at a decent hour. So it didn't make California get up, at 5 or 6 in the morning, or British Columbia. And with a group with Jack, we've also had individuals that were from Europe. So you don't have to have these individuals in your backyard, because it's ideal to meet in person, but all the mastermind groups I've had have always been on the phone. And you can go to freeconferencecall.com, and you get a free conference number. You can pass that out to everyone So it doesn't cost you anything to run it. So don't think that you have to have people in your backyard. It could, like I said, it could be anywhere in the country or in Europe. You just have to consider time zones. So the Europe process is very challenging because of the difference, 6, 7, sometimes hours of time change. So take that into consideration. But if you really want that person and they'd really like to participate, making those sacrifices for our mastermind group is something you should consider. So once you've gotten the basis of your mastermind group going, you know who you want to invite, you've had conversations, you've got your 6 or 7 people, you have your time scheduled, you put it on your calendar. Then there's like 7 steps that we go through every meeting. And the first step is to have an invocation. So we usually pass that around amongst the group. So someone will volunteer, I'll do it today. So basically you're just asking for support from God, universe, higher spirit to help you in the meeting, to bring your minds together and to support each other the best that you can. So basically that's the first step. Then the second step is to do what's new and good. So you'll each take like a minute to go around and say, well, what's new and good for me is, which is aligned very closely to your positive thinking network, because it might be, I think last time or one of the times when my book came out, what's new and good? Well, my book finally arrived. It's launching. My horse Bella, the sore that she had on her leg is healed. I can start riding again. You know, whatever it happens to be, it's a quick 1 or 2 things that you share with a group, and it really puts a positive attitude to start the day. And then, so you go around. And then the third thing is negotiate for time. So if there's somebody who has a really big issue, you want to make sure that if it's you that has it, so Sharon, you have an issue you want to discuss, and it's going to take more than 10 minutes. You say, you know, I've got something really big. Would anybody be willing to give up some time? And if I didn't really have anything major to discuss, I'd say absolutely. You can have all my time or 5 minutes of time, whatever you need. So, and usually we stick with our current time, but if someone needs it, or if we're in the midst of something later that's really important that needs a little more time for that person, then you can volunteer right then. Well, you know what, keep going with this topic. You know, I'll give you my time. So sometimes it's good to do it up front, but until you get going, you may not know that you need more time. So there's also negotiation during the process if necessary. So then step number 4, each individual member will raise their topic. So, you know, Ron might say, I'm looking for a virtual assistant. Do you know where I might be able to find one? Because I have to do everything myself. I'm an entrepreneur, and I just can't do everything alone. So then someone in the group might say, well, yeah, I know somebody. Why don't you give Michelle a call? She's a friend of mine, and she might be able to help you with that situation. It could be as fast as that. That person that is done in 2 minutes. So that time can also then go back to the pot. But I'm going to stop here for a second and talk about time. Every mastermind group needs a timer, and it can change every week. In my mastermind group, though, it's me every week. I tend to be the one that sends out the reminder. I'm the one that does the timing. Unless I'm in the car traveling that day, I'm usually at the office and I can manage it. But you have to have somebody who can be strong enough to say when your 10 minutes is up. So what we do